Yo, yo, yo. It's Reverse Polarity, episode 11. We're a day late and $1 short, but we're here, ready to party. It's me, your boy Hi Fi Vega. I'm joined by the man who never sleeps, the titan of turkeys, the guy who will not eat red meat. What's up, Dean? How's
Hey,
Thanksgiving?
man. Oh my gosh, dude. It's funny you say the Titan of turkeys. I don't know what it is about me getting stuck cutting the turkeys,
Ah,
but
me too.
it's like I have very little feeling left in the tips of my fingers just from life. And so everyone's like, "Oh, let Dean cut the turkey." I was burning my fingers. I mean, it was like, God, this is like liquid lava just pouring out of this turkey. I'm just like, I'm fine, bro.
You gotta have the fork. You gotta have the fork and the carving knife.
We weren't at home. I was just lucky. It was like cutting turkey with a freaking plastic knife, man. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know,
Hey, that's how it goes. I don't know how I get stuck doing this. It's because no one wants to, so they're just like, "Oh yeah, you're very good at this. You're
yeah,
probably the best." It's like a Donald Trump voice almost. Like you're probably the best turkey guy that's ever lived.
I'm going to leave that at that.
So I do have a poll for us today.
Oh, thank God. All right,
Let
let's
me
see.
see. I'll open it up real quick and we'll check it out.
Before we get too deep in the show, I want to thank everyone that's on here right now for coming on their Friday night and watching the show, because I know there's 10 different other way cooler things you could be doing other than watching us two goofballs talking about whatever it is we're going to talk about tonight. So thanks for making the ultimate sacrifice to give us an audience in which to talk to.
Yeah.
So with that, what is the poll?
Yeah, well, we will no longer laud you at all during the show. We're sorry. It's just how it has to be.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
The poll. What is the best traditional Thanksgiving food? The choices are turkey, ham, prime rib, assorted desserts, assorted side dishes.
So my favorite isn't on there. So when I was a kid, turkey was like that was played out, and so what my family would do is you know what pita bread is, right? Of course you know what pita
Yeah.
bread is. You ever cut it open and make a pita pocket?
Yeah.
We used to have pita tacos. So the whole family would get together, grandparents, nieces, nephews, cousins, and we would have a giant pita taco dinner. That was Thanksgiving. And that was wonderful. And then, of course, once I got married, Sue's parents were very traditional, so it was turkey and ham, turkey and ham, turkey. And every year I go, "Can we have tacos? What do you think? Pizza? No, ooh, gross." Ooh. So
we do traditional Thanksgiving, and then on Christmas we'll do traditional, but we might have tamales or something different to mix it up a little bit.
So a traditional Christmas dinner at our house is Publix, the supermarkets, what they call Cubanitos, which is basically their version of a Cuban sandwich, cut into little bite-sized supermarket-sized things. And for the last probably 10 years, it's Cubanitos, some form of chicken fingers, and then what other side dishes Haley and Sue want to concoct together. Usually there's a shrimp cocktail there that, everyone eats, but I just kind of look at it and go, "See, cockroach." Fernando's stepdaughter she was like a non-meat eater for a while, so we would make Haley found a recipe for this awesome mac and cheese, like is now like famous Haley's mac and cheese. Like you can't do Christmas without this mac and cheese now. It's freaking hilarious. But I mean, I like turkey. And when it comes to ham, you guys have honey baked hams there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude, there is no ham like a spiral cut honey baked ham. Like that to me is like, I need a moment alone.
Dude. And I always put a little bit of turkey gravy on it.
Turkey gravy goes on everything.
Yeah, man.
No, it's
stuffing, turkey, ham.
So you build your plate, and then once it's done, you just cover it in gravy. I mean, isn't that how that's supposed to work? I mean, it's all going to touch, so just cover it in gravy. I didn't even look. What won?
Okay.
Let's sorry.
Go back to that.
Let's go back. I'm sorry. I took turkey by far.
Turkey by far. Ham second. Assorted side dishes were third. Assorted desserts, which is disappointing to me as a fat man, that they took almost last place. And prime ribs, surprisingly, Last place.
Yeah.
That's a Dean last place, though.
Yeah, I would do it. Sue would go crazy for that. Well, let me ask you this. What is your favorite side? Because this was a big debate this year.
I like... My wife makes these cheesy mashed potatoes. Not mashed potatoes. She cuts them, cubes them up.
Yeah.
And it's like Velveeta cheese and bacon.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very yummy. So we had something similar to that, which I've never had before. The family we went to, the friends, they made something like that. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But apparently, unbeknownst to me, green bean casserole is like the winner chicken dinner of all sides. This was a big debate at this Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving, was how green bean casserole is like sex on a plate. And so Sue and Haley made this giant thing of green bean casserole, and I shit you not, there was like this much left, and there was only like 9 of us. They plowed through this thing. Like everything else, there was stuff left. I'm a stuffing guy. I like stuffing. To me, stuffing with gravy, it's just like, go to town, baby. I mean, soggy bread with soggy gravy on it. How much better could it possibly get?
It's almost like bread pudding at that. Savory bread pudding.
Oh, yeah. It's like salty bread pudding. Yummy. Ooh, I love bread pudding. But yeah.
The green beans, I have this texture thing. But I don't mind the flavor of them, but they're rubbery and then they get mushy.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about peas. I can't do peas.
Yeah.
Like peas are just little pulpery balls of angel shit or something. I don't know, man. That's like the running joke. It's like, Dean hates peas. Don't put peas on anything. It's like my mom used to make us like eat peas. I'm like, oh, fucking die. No. I mean, I can eat
peas or broccolis back when you were a kid.
Oh, dude, we used to cover them in ketchup and mustard. It's like,
oh god, that sounds terrible.
It is terrible, but what's worse? You know what I mean? It's like you can live, I don't know, but I can't do peas. The only thing I can do peas in is like a pot pie, because they kind of sneak them in there and I don't see them. But like Sue likes peas. She'll buy cans of peas and it's like, enjoy.
She's the only one that eats them.
Oh, she's the only one that eats them because Haley doesn't want that. That's not for anybody.
Haley's. I just seen today or yesterday that Haley's going to be a doctor.
That's the idea. Yeah, so she's getting her BS in psychology, and then she's taking a year to do something, which was not anything I was happy about, but that seemed to be what her and Sue agreed upon. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They let you know. They'll let you know when you need to be known.
Yeah. So she's gonna go do something in the field of psychology that she's planning on doing, and then she's gonna go back for the other 4 years. So, because I don't know. It's one of those things where that's the plan, and she keeps telling everybody that. So I'm like, well, if you keep telling everybody that, then you're gonna have to make that shit happen.
Yeah.
So otherwise, people are gonna be like, you failed.
Yeah. See, I've got one teacher in the making, and then one he's gonna figure it out at some point.
He's gonna fix cars.
No, we've already went through that. Definitely not fixing cars.
Brussels sprouts. Oh, so funny Brussels sprout stories. It seems like my life is just one funny story after the next. My grandfather absolutely loved Brussels sprouts. I had never heard of them a day in my life, didn't know what they were. And then one Thanksgiving, my mom's like, we're making Brussels sprouts. And I go, what's he? I saw they were green, so immediately I knew this could not be good. And so in typical mom fashion, she's like, everyone has to eat at least 2 Brussels sprouts. And we're like, I'm in like high school or middle school at this point. I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like two of these little like gonads of lettuce? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. You're just like, oh, the smell. Oh, the funny part now as an adult, I don't mind them. They don't bother me at all. But back then it was like,
yeah, they do. They smell bad.
That's
what it is.
Yeah.
They're not bad though. It's like you grill like a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, it's not bad. And that's the thing. Yeah. I feel like as you get older, you just lose your taste buds, and stuff that just tasted like ass when you could actually taste things. Now it's like, man, these ain't so bad. Like asparagus. I love grilled asparagus. If you would have asked me to eat that when I was a kid, I would have looked at you like, I just want to fork out your eyes and drown you in the pool. You can't pay me to eat this. And now it's like, we're getting asparagus tonight for dinner. What is the occasion? Oh yeah.
When you hate the cabbage, but then you discover the egg roll, and you're like, wait a minute, cabbage is not bad at all.
Oh, dude, when I go to the mall to the the little Chinese / barbecue restaurants that they have, where it's like, oh, Asian food with Oriental people working and barbecue with Oriental people working, and it's all just the same stuff. I get the barbecue chicken, and then they have cabbage with broccoli, and they're like, what do you want? I said, I want the barbecue chicken and the cabbage with broccoli. Oh, rice or noodles? I don't want any of that crap. I want those two things in a box, and they're just looking at me like, you're weird. I'm like, I don't care. This is like heaven. Thank you, Geneva.
Yeah, Geneva.
Yeah,
what's
Sounds like a really awesome cheesecake.
He said Brussels sprouts are miniature cabbages and taste like dirt. Oh man.
Yeah, they need to go back into the dirt and grow a little better, but whatever. All right.
We have a topic.
We have a topic. This is a good topic. I was excited about this topic.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I think so. A little bit about the topic. Go ahead and say the topic, and then we'll.
Christmas wish list, car audio Christmas wish list, whatever you want it to be.
So my thought behind this was somebody asked Fernando yesterday in the live show what would be Fernando's dream system, and he had one, which I thought was pretty amazing. And he was talking about Helix amplifiers, and he knew which ones he wanted. And I was like, is he trying to tell me something? Do I need to get him some Helix amplifiers for Christmas? I mean, what the hell? But if Santa Claus was so this was my premise for this. If Santa Claus was real, and as an adult, you got a Christmas present. So, I mean, some of us, Santa Claus is real. Let's not lie. Some of us are loved ones, are like, I'll get you whatever you want because you're such a nice person. I love you. Mm-hmm. And the rest of us are like, what do you want? You get underwear and socks every year. It's underwear and socks. I mean, I don't see why you're even asking. So if Santa Claus was real and you could ask for anything you wanted, what would it be? Okay, so you guys in the comments, go ahead and throw your stuff up. I want to. This is the show where we're actually going to have interaction. So I want to see you guys tell me what and there's two ways to look at this. This was my thought. There's two ways. There's you get one thing. Like back when you were a kid, they handed you the JCPenney's or Sears catalog and said, circle what you want. And you just took a yellow highlighter and circled everything that started with toys. It's like everything from pages 39 to 57, and I put stars. So, if there's it's too expensive, just look for something with 3 stars. And if they're all go down to the 2-star and then the 1, it's all, and there's little tabs on the sides. So
let me walk you through my rating scale here. We have the 3-star, the 2-star, the 1-star. It's divided by most wanted to least wanted.
Yeah.
And if you give me anything that's not starred, you're not my real family.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And you're lucky you didn't get any of that shit and you didn't care. You were just so happy. Yeah. I got something. Woo! So that was my thought. It's you get if you could get that one cool thing, and then also if Christmas was like the lottery and Santa Claus came down and said, whoa, what do you want, little boy? Or big adult for Christmas.
And you could only get car stereo equipment. That's the caveat.
Yeah, because dude, so we were talking about it today, and Fernando goes, "I'd like to get my car fixed," and I go, "If Santa Claus give you anything you want, you're gonna ask him to get your car fixed. I mean, no offense here, bro, but just ask him for a new car." He goes, "Yeah, oh yeah, that's a way better idea."
No, I'm doing genie thing, but Santa, I wish for unlimited, unlimited Santa wishes.
My wife bought me the Orion XTR Beast for Christmas last week.
Trying to make you jealous.
Oh, he's totally trying to make me jealous. You suck. In a good way, of course. I mean, a full 20K def bounce system. All right, so keep them coming. I would like to see Sony GS9. Fernando would like you for that. Seta Morel Supremo 602s. Ooh, nice pull there. 7909 from back in the day. American Dragon FR15 car stereo, man. Let's keep it car stereo. So I was forbidden to say anything Morel. That was the caveat right there at the beginning. Yeah. He was like, you can't wish for more Morel stuff, and I wouldn't, because I mean I got the pretty good hookup on Morel, so I'm good there. But let's start with what's your wish list. So I don't know what you thought of, but let's just hear what you got.
Man, my wish list is very boring. The main thing on my wish list is that I don't have to install it.
I kind of feel the same way on that one. I'm not going to lie.
That's the number one thing on my wish list. And then when we go from there, I honestly would want something that would be completely stealth. Down to the subwoofer, some free air subwoofer. I'd probably go with maybe even the audio control D6 1200.
Okay.
And
so nothing crazy yet.
Nothing crazy. I'm not going for the highest in here. I just need something that I know is going to do good.
Okay.
Where we might get crazy is the component set.
Okay. Because I know a Santa Claus that might be able to help you with the D6 1200. Yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, you might want to hold out for the 5-channel to keep it simple, but you know, I know a guy.
Yeah, you know a guy or two.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah.
But the component set, this is what gets me, man. I would like the Utopia Focals, but I'd also like the Ultimo Morels.
Ooh.
And I also would like the highest end audible physics, and I'd like some Dyne audio. This is where I cannot narrow it down. I don't have enough experience with all the highest end ones.
Oh no, and I totally understand that because when people ask what's your favorite, it's like I have things that I like, but I have a lot of things that I like. I'm not if you're not on my team, you suck kind of guy. So I mean, the only one on that list that I'm sitting there going, I really don't want those is the M's because they did not impress me at all. It's like, really? How much? Okay. I mean, when I asked Fernando this question, he was like, what is it? The thesis. He goes, I want the thesis amp. And I was like, okay. And he goes, wait, no. I go, I know what you're going to say next. You're going to say you want the DWire amplifier. He goes, yeah. And I go, well, because I think the thesis still costs a little bit more money than the DWire, but I feel like out of the known high-end amplifiers, and by known, I mean, I know there's other amplifiers that are super expensive. Like True makes a pretty expensive amp, and there's that new company out of France that makes some pretty expensive amplifiers. But those two are pretty known amplifiers. Like most people know what a thesis amplifier is. And if the guy goes, thesis, man, what the hell? I want a def bounce. It's like, you don't know then.
Yeah.
Because like 2 thesis and you're basically, it's $20,000. So, but he goes, but then Tony amp is Tony, by Tony, I mean DWire amplifier. You're looking at probably $18,000 for 2 of those. And Steve just bought what, 6 of them? I mean, I know he gets a good deal, but that's still 6 of those amplifiers, and the parts alone are pretty expensive.
That's a lot of fuse blocks.
Yeah, and knowing Steve, he probably gave Tony like full boat for him because that's just how he operates. He doesn't expect anything as a gift. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably Dean wants a date in DSP. Nice one. I actually bought. That's when I bought one. It was when they had it on sale at Christmas 2 years ago. It was whatever the deep discount crappy price was. I was like, oh, it's on sale. It's like a Friday thing. Ooh, an MPX jackhammer. We're thrown to the old days. Yeah, you're definitely gonna need Christmas magic for that.
You can't be on Pimp My Ride without that subwoofer.
The jackhammer. Yeah. All right. So you have a plethora of speakers you would choose from. So we'd want. So are we thinking just components, like a set of 6.5 components, simple stealth into the factory spots, and then obviously whatever brand of speaker you get, you'll go with a matching coaxial for the rear or no rears.
No rears. We're doing full SQ, front stage only, driver's seat with a infinite baffle sub.
Okay, so that's why you wanted the 6-channel or a 5-channel, just to power all that stuff right there. So no center channel. Your car doesn't have a center channel in it?
No, we're doing that with the DSP, bro.
Well, I was just saying, because I mean, we have, you have like the Helix and you have like the Audison. They have up mixers built into them. So does the Gladen, has an up mixer built. Or, I'm sorry, the Moscone has an up mixer built into it. So I mean, there are higher end DSPs out there to do that. But if you just want to do a 1-seat tune, then the auto control will totally do that all day long. So what kind of free air subwoofer are you thinking?
Okay, this can get interesting because I could just go simple with something that I know plays well, like Image Dynamics.
Okay,
which would would just be a cheap sub, or I mean, you could jump into the high end, like home audio subs,
okay,
or the DIY subs,
Well, you have it. You also, if you like the Focal, you know, or the whole Orca stuff, you have the Raven woofer.
Yeah.
You know, the Raven is the so Orca is made up of Focal, Moscone Gladen, Illusion, which is a great woofer, and they the Raven subwoofer, which is his which is their woofer, like their in-house woofer.
And the Illusion, I already know that I like the Illusion subwoofers because I've played with a Carbon 10.
Yeah.
And while not the loudest sounding sub I've ever had, it's probably the best sounding sub I've ever had personally. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting pick for sure because it's expensive, but it's not ridiculous. It's not unobtainable.
Right. So
that's why I try to keep it in that range, that obtainable range.
So it's funny, free air. So like Gary Bell, which is in the car audio world is a big feature. He's been doing it for years. He's worked with Andy Waymar at JBL. He's worked at Kicker at one point or another. I think the store that he owns out in California now with another guy is like Definitive Audio or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's like the free air king. So his Beamer that they always bring to Knowledge Fest has these two free air subwoofers, and how he built the box, it looks like there's a plexi window because it's all lit and it just looks like there's a plexi window. But until you reach your arm in there and you're like, oh Jesus, there's the magnets. It goes all the way through, and you're just like, wow, that is so awesome. I think Kicker was saying he had like 2 Solo X18s free air.
Oh.
Wow. Or Infinite Baffle. Infinite Baffle.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to get killed.
No. Free air.
This Nick brings up a good 13W7. I've actually heard a W7 in an Infinite Baffle situation, and it didn't do too bad.
I have nothing against JL woofers. I mean, I have nothing against JL at all. I mean, dude, those VXI amplifiers are smoking awesome. I mean, the problem I have is not JL. It's the people that are JL fans that think that it's the end all be all. Christ has come down and made a car audio product. It's like, slow it down, killer. Okay?
That's not even getting into boats.
No, they do make some really nice boat stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Rockford, when they designed their redesigned all their new marine audio stuff, it was like, I was talking with Sajecki, which is our kicker rep here. He's basically Bill's boss that we have on the show every now and then. He was like, listen, guys, if you're going to waste my time with this, you have one person that you have to be better than, and that's JL Audio. And if you're not, there is literally no point in updating the product, because if you can't beat them, you're just going to be second place to them forever. So, their goal was literally, they went out and they, like most manufacturers, they buy all these products, and it's like, we have to blind test and be better than this. And so all the new Rockford stuff was designed specifically in mind to beat the JL Audio. Are they going to do it? I don't know. I mean, that JL Audio marine stuff is like got a foothold in the marine world. Like, it's nobody's business. That's like a tick on a dog. It's buried in there good. And if you get it out, you're just going to end up with, whatever, that Lyme disease or something. So,
then you won't be able to eat red meat either. So
yeah,
it wouldn't even affect you.
Yeah. Bummer. Well, I'd probably be tired all the time. But no, I don't mind JL. I mean, I like their DSPs. I think they're pretty cool.
Plus people forget sometimes, we might play things up a little bit here and there.
Well, the thing is, because we don't sell them and we don't always recommend them, there's always the fanboys that are, why don't you recommend JL? It's like, because it's not on the forefront of my brain. It's not like I'm working with it every day. And the other thing too is, like, being a JL Audio dealer, if you've ever been to one, it's like they're very limited on what else they have, because JL asks so much of you, and it's an easy sell. I mean, people walk in and it's a known brand. It's an easy sell. It's kind of like Viper alarms for the longest time. You have Viper? Yeah. Okay. Protected by Viper. And then you'd literally, there was no selling at all. It was the guy comes in, says, you have a Viper alarm? Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll take it. That was it. And it was great. JL is a lot like that, but because they command so much of your time carrying other brands. So like for us, we can carry more brands because we don't have that. So it's like, we can carry Kicker, we can carry Rockford, we can carry Otis and Hertz, we can carry Morel and Focal and Sony and JVC and Kenwood and Alpine, and we don't carry JVC. I don't know why I said that. Pioneer. But so we have a lot of brands in audio control, and we can do things with those that if we were like all our money was wrapped up in that one brand, it would be hard to diversify like that, because it's like we make something for everybody, and it's like, yeah, but I like variety, I'm a variety guy.
And sometimes someone just wants some scar, bro.
Oh, dude, we sell a ton of that. Yeah. That stuff goes over the counter like it's nobody's business, man. I mean, we sell a lot. He wholesales a ton of that scar audio stuff. Not crap. When I say crap, I don't actually mean it in a derogatory way. It's just a phrase of
a turn of phrase.
Instead of saying stuff, I say crap.
Yeah,
it's just tons of crap. So it's neither good nor bad. Because bad isn't necessarily bad, even though bad could be bad. Sometimes bad is considered good. So
there's a scale. Yeah. Good,
bad, so that's how I consider that. I have nothing against Scar. It doesn't faze me in the least. It's just what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every time I see one of those giant woofers that weighs 300 pounds, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it looks cool.
What am I going to do with it? Do I want one of those? What am I going to do with it? Okay, so we don't know what woofer we want, but we want a high-end woofer that'll do free air. So to recap, a 5 or 6 channel amplifier, you're cool with audio control.
Or it could be on the end of audio control to Moscone.
Well, why not just go with a Audison 5.1K? A Voce.
Okay.
Voce 5.1.
You talked me into it.
You go Voce 5.1, hook that up to a
Bit 10 or
no, the new one, the Virtuoso. Hook it up to a Virtuoso, and then you get the 5.1K bit. So then it just uses the Audison optical in, so it's a full bit system. And so source unit into that, and then it's like you can buy the 5.1K with the digital front end on it that just plugs into the Virtuoso, and the Virtuoso has 2 Toshlink inputs, so you as well as analog both high level and low level, but it has 2 Toshlink inputs, so that if you do have a source unit that has a Toshlink output, so let's say you get like a high 10, like a Stinger high 10 with Toshlink out going to the Virtuoso, and then you also, while you're at it, you ask Santa Claus for a high-end DAC player, little portable, awesome,
IO or
Alistair Kern. The good one.
Who's the one that done the musician that done it? The triangle looking one?
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Yes. That's so stupid.
I can't even remember what it is.
Yeah, and it failed, so.
Yeah.
It was a good idea, but whatever. Yeah. Dumb marketing and dumb looking. So, I mean, let's be honest. All right, so there we go. So we have this badass system for you that's, we can put our cool little, portable player into the armrest. We'll put a DRC up front so you can A/B between the two, and you can switch between preset 1 and preset 2 on your EQ curve. Now, the 5.1, for those of you guys that don't know what an Audison Voce 5.1 is, it's a 5-channel amplifier. 4 of the channels are for highs, and obviously the 5th channel is a class D for the sub. It's like 5 or 6 or 700 watts for the sub. It's a shit ton of power. I know that we've run that 5th channel on a set of T1 truck, so T1Ts, Rockford T1Ts, 210s. That was in the Raptor that we did. It started out with just 1. It ended up with 2 because I was like, you need 2. And he's like, I want 1. I'm like, you need 2. I was like, I'm fine with 1. And his son literally blew it that weekend. And I was like, I told you to get 2. And he goes, you were right. So we had Frostbite boxes make him a 210-inch version of the box, and put the logo on it and all that fun stuff. Ported, so they made us a ported version of it. They hadn't made any at that time, so that was really cool of them to do that for us. But the 5.1K channels 1 and 2 are Class A for the tweeters, so it's like 70 by 2 of Class A power for the tweeters. Wow. So you get the cleanest signal possible for the cleanest. For the tweeters, and then it's AB. It's like 120 by 2 on 3 and 4 AB class. Oh, it's totally staggered for the front doors. So basically, it is designed to do exactly what you're trying to do, of give you a front stage and a sub only, and then of course the Virtuoso is like next level crazy DSP, pro DSP. Those are pro DSPs. There are fun DSPs and there's pro DSPs. That is pro DSP. That has de-equalization on the front end. It has equalization on, so you have a whole de-equalization side of things that will work on de-EQing the signal automatically, as well as if your system has any form of all-pass filters in there, it'll take care of those. If there's any form of factory delay between left and right, you can add that and remove it if you would like. It's capable of doing all that stuff. On top of, that's just the input side of it. On the output side, you then, of course, have your parametric EQ with tons of bands for channels and stuff like that. And the other thing that's cool is some of these high-end DSPs, a lot of people don't understand, they have min volume, max volume, equalization. So basically what that means is you can set them, like if you're listening to it at low volume and you would like to add in a loudness. So, if you have an aftermarket radio, you turn on loudness control. And what that'll do is that'll give you, hold on, do I have it here? I did. I don't remember who it is. But so loudness, it boosts the bass and treble. And as you turn up, it goes like this and it levels back out flat. Some factory radios actually have that, and it's a pain in the ass. But it's nice because, if you set the volume all the way up past the loudness, as it turns down, it will add in and actually help you out if you're using a factory radio with an aftermarket DSP. But if your radio doesn't have that and you don't have an aftermarket DSP, the Virtuoso has, and some high-end DSPs, a lot of the pro DSPs have it, you set the minimum voltage and it'll read the output voltage of the radio. And you set the maximum voltage and it'll read the output of the radio. And then you set your EQ accordingly. So if you want to add in loudness, you can. And then as the volume goes up, it'll reduce the loudness. So that's a really cool feature.
That's intense.
Oh yeah. Oh no, trust me. Pro. That's why I said there's DSPs that are fun, and okay. So how you look at a DSP? There's an 80% DSP and a 20% DSP. And what I mean by that is 80% of the people need this. So when you look at like an audio control, 80% of the people, and that falls into the whole category. Like even the Dayton, the software that's on the Dayton, which is on the Alpine, which is on the Nakamichi, which is on a half dozen other DSPs. 80% of the people that need a DSP. That includes like a DSR1, the Metra piece, the entry-level Helix stuff, like the Helix Mini. They're for 80% of the people, meaning most people can buy those, put those in, and they're gonna suit the needs of what they're trying to do. And you have the 20% guys. The 20% guys want all that other stuff. That's where like your Gladens and your your Atomo, the new Atomo Gladen or Moscone little thing. That thing is like rocket science just in a box. And your Virtuosos, and of course there are other DSPs like the new Alpine DSP. That Alpine DSP is one of those that's like it has enough to be in the pro side, but it's trying to be in that 80% side because that's where the money is. So it's a tough call, and there again so your dream system, would be a bitchin' set of one of your high-end set of components up front, a 5.1K Virtuoso DSP. They're again some form of awesome woofer mounted in the rear deck, roadkill, baffled, and pretty sweet. And you don't want to do it yourself.
No, I don't want to do it myself. And if we're getting anything we want, can I just run pure silver wire? Who makes pure silver wire? We might as well.
I'm sure there's a home audio place, but see, that's a nice thing. Why? You don't need to. You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. Let's just run straight aluminum.
If we can, straight aluminum.
Straight aluminum, baby, all the way.
All
the way.
So what's Dean's Christmas list systems consist of?
So Dean's Christmas list system is probably going to go in a direction you would probably never think. Like, for me, one of the things that I always loved when I was younger was rolling up on people, sitting at a stoplight. And it's kind of like the horsepower thing when you buy a really powerful car that you don't ever really drive fast. It's just like, it's there. So if some chump wants to be like, bro, man, I'm going to take off. And you're like, whatever, dude. I kind of felt that way with bass. So like when I had my single cab Dodge Ram, I had 4 Kenwood 10s down firing with like 2,000 watts. And you're like, 2,000 watts ain't shit. Yeah, it was back then. Okay. This is when 2,000 watts was actually like, a 1,000-watt amplifier was like this big. Now a 5,000-watt amplifier, it's like this big. You put underneath your seat. I mean, come on, slow it down, guys. So, it had a ton of bass, and it was one of those cool things where you could just roll up on somebody and be sitting at the light, and you got the little punk ass over here on the side, and he's like, and you're like, oh, that's cute. And you turn your shit up, and it's so loud that he hears your stuff over his stuff. Yeah. To me, as sad as that sounds, I used to love that. It was like, oh, it's so cute. Look at you. Oh, like rolling your window down, trying to figure out why your stuff sounds bad all of a sudden. It's because you just got showed up, and then the light turns green, you roll away, and you're just like, and the whole side of your car is flexing and whatnot. So if I had like my Christmas dream, they would be building a system like that just has some stupid amount of subwoofers, probably some Scar Audio stuff. I don't know, some Sundown, probably the new Sundown W surround things that everyone was like losing their mind about. Where I just have like Steve Meade Tahoe kind of thing, where it's just like, it's so dumb that it just like people just sit there and like, oh my God, but it's totally drivable. Like Steve Tahoe, the one thing that's beautiful about Steve's Tahoe is that, like, if you look at it, it's a Tahoe. And you look in the back and you see those woofers, and you're like, I've seen plenty of cars with woofers like that in the back. And then he turns it on, you're like, as the air gets sucked out of your chest, you're like, oh my God, I'm dying.
It reminds me of that. Have you watched the Fast and Furious 2?
Of course.
Okay. The scene where what's his name? Brian's buddy in there.
Tyrese Gibbons?
Yes, Tyrese, but the character he plays.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're doing the street race against the hot rod guys.
Yeah.
And he goes up there and he's revving up the Eclipse, and the dude's got the Yanko Camaro and just freaking blows his doors off.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes, totally. Totally. I just missed that day. Like we were talking about today, I want six pairs of Focal K2s mounted in my doors. So it sounds, you know what I mean? I mean, if you're going to do it right. Like there's this one guy that goes to Knowledge Fest. It's a motorcycle guy. Okay. And this motorcycle is decked the hell out with K2s. This guy is one of the reasons why Focal got into the motorcycle business, making K2s for motorcycles, was because of this guy. So this guy is like straight up K2s everywhere on this motorcycle, and it is the loudest, most obnoxious thing you've ever heard, but it sounds phenomenal because he's got, thousands of dollars of speakers and tons of power just coming off of this point source of a motorcycle, and you're just like, God damn, that sounds so good. So could you imagine like open the door and you just the row of speakers across the bottom are K2 mid basses, and then you have like K2 tweeters. And the reason why I'm picking K2s is because they're loud. They're really loud and they sound great. I want people to be like, God damn. And I don't want loudspeakers because I want people to go, that's so loud, but I can hear the crickets in the background farting,
You want to melt their face, but not blast them with a bullet tweet.
Yes.
So it's just the intenseness is what makes them want to quit, not the harshness.
Yes. I want them to go like, it just sounds so good. I can't stop.
Yeah. You're right at the edge. Like, this is so awesome, but it's a little too much.
Yes. It's a lot too much. Yes. I want that same feeling I get when I walk behind like the Bama vehicle at the sound shows, where it's just like I just got smacked in the side of the face viciously, but I want it to sound good while it's doing it. I want that.
Like a velvet hammer.
Like a velvet hammer. Exactly like a velvet hammer. Right in the balls. Just it was soft and fluffy, but damn, that hurt. Yeah. So I want that. I want that for Christmas. I want Santa Claus to give me, like maybe some rock. And there again, I want, Sundown's cool, Scar's cool, but like some T2s, those, the big MFs, those like 19-inch, like 4 of those, and something just like.
Oh, it'd be cool to do it if Morel's back on the table. The big 6-inch voice coil subwoofers. Oh,
the 5.1 inch. Yeah.
Yeah, like 20 of those.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, you could. I mean, I don't see, if you got a van, I mean, go to town. Why not? That would be fun. Oh, yeah. What are you running for subwoofers as, you're beating the hell out of it? Oh, I got 20 Morel 12-inch, subs back there with 5.1 inch voice coils. And then I got like, like Sundown 30Ks just rolling up the wall because I'm going to need that amount of power to power 25-inch voice coils. I'm running a Q class as a preamp. you know, because why not?
Why not? I mean, we're
Yeah.
asking Santa. He's giving us whatever I want.
You know.
I do have an old school pick.
Yeah, go for it.
If this could all be in brand new condition, this would be my setup. And this might make you proud. It might not. We'll see.
Okay.
3 15 W6s.
Okay.
The original, the first gen,
Yeah.
on a Orion 2250, but I want it anodized red to match my HCCA amps, which will run the entirety of the rest of the system, the 2100, the 225, the 225, because I got to have it just because it's a 225, even though
So why don't you
technically
just get the 2100? Why do you need the 2250?
because that 2100 doesn't put out crap for power.
Oh, okay.
That
'Cause-
the 2250 actually does 1,000 watts. The
Is it
2100 does
800?
about 600.
Is it
800
600?
on on the best day is 800
Yeah.
with the turbo
Okay.
being pushed in. And then
It's a 45 hertz at 12 dB boost. Thank you very much.
aka turbo button.
Yeah. More better bass button, as Orion used to say.
More power, baby.
Just push the button and it'll solve all your problems. Don't mind those yellow peak indicators on there. Those don't mean shit.
And then I would have the ADS PX component sets. 2 sets of those.
Okay.
You remember those?
Vaguely, yes.
They
ADS was
also
just
done
kind
them
of like,
in the Orion concept.
yes. Okay.
Those
I
were
had
the
those.
same ones.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
because
so-
that was back under Korean Jacobs when he owned all those. He owned Apogee, ADS, Orion, and a couple other brands that he totally just destroyed the whole. If you want to wonder why Orion doesn't exist in the form factor that it should, it's the guy by the name of Korean Jacobs totally screwed up all those companies for us. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
This was a guy, it was like he had way too much money that his dad let him have, and he just bought a bunch of crap and destroyed it all. And it was
it sounded like a good idea at the time, but
no, it didn't. We were all just going, this guy's going to kill everything. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I met the guy. It was like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, oh, we're going to make so much great things out of these products. You're going to love what we do. And then it's like, and then DEI bought him. And I was like,
yeah. And then that was the end of the era.
yeah, that was the end of everything right there. Once they got their hands on it, I was like, we don't have enough money to do this. Oh well. Sell it all except Polk.
Just keep pumping them out. But then for the head unit.
Okay, for the head unit.
I would say the Alpine 7909. That's a classic pick. Anybody would pick that with sense.
Okay.
But I'm going with the Sony ESC90.
Okay.
But
I thought you'd say Eclipse. I saw the Eclipse in here because I remember Eclipse was like the second coming of Christ, but it was like switch it to 10, bro.
8
Slow
volts
down.
8 volts, bro.
Yeah.
But
one of the Sonys had 5 though, so
yeah, with the magically fixed screen from Santa that they never had because the screens were absolutely terrible.
garbage. Yeah.
Yes. But a magically fixed Santa screen.
Okay.
I wouldn't even need a DSP back then. We'll just do maybe some of those 30 band.
Yeah. So some of the Rain 31 band EQs.
Yeah,
the Rains, those were fun.
Yeah, one for left, one for right.
So my it's funny, my dream system, I'm sorry, your dream system, my reality system weren't too far apart in the sense that my Renault, when it finally gave up the ghost, I had the 2125, the 3 222s and 2 250s, SXs, all SX. There's 6 SX amplifiers in there. I had a set of Morel 6-inch Integras in the rear, 2 Morel 6-inch mid bass, the 6-inch mid range, and then 2 Morel 1-inch horn tweeters in the door. I had 4 Audax tweeters across the front of the dash, 2 in the center, 2 on the outside. The 200 CRX feeding into the 300 CRX, so I could have a full crossover covered there. And of course, 1 Orion XTR 10s and a bandpass enclosure in the rear. I wish I still had pictures of this, but that was my last system. And that was like the culmination of everything I had worked to do. And that was like the biggest, the craziest, most awesome. And it was all neon. There was neon all over the place. So it lit up like a stripper bar because there was purple and pink neon everywhere.
You had to. This was the same thing that had the chain and the beeper. Am I right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I mean, you had to.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yes, because that car died, and then I bought the Eclipse, and from the Eclipse, I kept the Morel tweeters, one pair of the Morel tweeters for the dash, the mid-range, and the mid-bass. And then I bought all the GT amplifiers. So I had a 620 GT and a 420 GT. That ran everything off of one of the cool Clarion decks that was, with all the buttons and all that. And I had 2 Orion XTR 8-inch woofers and a bandpass. That's right. I've owned 8-inch woofers and a bandpass. I know, the guy that hates small woofers, but at the time, no one was doing them. So it was all plexi top.
Yeah.
It's like the amps were upside down so you could see all the circuit board. So it just looked like this giant 40-inch long GT amplifier. I actually, for the wiring, I drilled through the heatsink. So the little 10-gauge wire that the amplifiers had just passed through the heatsink. So you couldn't even see like where the wire went. It was just all, it was just gone. You're like, it was, and trust me, drilling those holes, I was like, what am I doing?
Are we going too far right now?
Yeah. But it worked out wonderful. So, I mean, that was pretty intense for that.
Bobby had a beeper, no chain.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, bro.
They can't all be Dean, right?
We can't all be Dean. Thank God. And you didn't notice the purple Timberlands I was wearing in that picture too. So
I missed that. Oh,
yeah, there was some Timberlands in that one, bro. Because that's what was cool.
That was 90s as F.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean that was a night. So the car in that was a '93 Mitsubishi Eclipse, and I think I just got it. So that was straight up '93, '94 for sure.
I had a '93 Eagle Talon TSX.
Yeah, it wasn't that cool.
Yeah. I blew up the turbo on it. So
immediately.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, this was literally like $1,000 car or $10,000 car. I was so excited to have. So it's like my dream system would be the opposite of what you'd think I'd want. I want, big amplifiers. Like for me, I love, like everyone's, oh, you have a Zen 9. Yeah, it's cool. It's big. It's neat. But I want a big and 2-channel or a mono block. Like every time I see that new Orion or those, it's like
Class A 2-channel ones.
I don't care what they are. They just look at them and go, man, I just want, like, I look at the Warhorse every day and I'm just thinking, man, that is the coolest freaking thing in the world, bro. When Sound Digital reached out to us like, hey, we're going to send you, these 2 prototype amplifiers. We're going to send you a 3K and a 5K. To run on the quad box. I was like, yeah, oh hell yeah. And then they showed up in these little boxes and I was like,
what
the hell are these? Damn it.
These are gonna get hot.
Things, man. Gosh, what the hell?
So to sum it up, Dean wants to let his thing swing.
Oh yeah, dude. I want
the Dean system.
I want the Dean system that's just like, and there again, I'm not gonna play it like that. I'm just gonna roll up at a stoplight like today. Like I was just rolling up on I rolled up on a car waiting to cross the street, and I was jamming out to. What was I listening to? I was jamming out to ZZ Top this morning. Big ZZ Top fan. And dude, if you're a ZZ Top fan and you haven't watched their special on Netflix that they did, the documentary. You have to watch it because it is awesome. It's nice to do a documentary when the people are still alive and can take part in it. But anyway, so I was jamming out to some ZZ Top. Tush came on.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm like, and I got my windows down because the weather here is just beautiful in the morning. And this guy caught next to me had his windows down, and I'm just like, and he was, playing some shit, and I'm just like, damn, man. And I was thinking about the show tonight, and I was like, man, I missed the time when I could just like roll up on people and just be like, oh, that's cute. And that was the one nice thing with Haley, because I let her feel that. I was like, all right, watch, because there was the one time like when we all went out to eat and I hopped in the car with her to leave, because usually if like I'll drive there with Sue and Haley meet us after she gets off work, I'll ride home with her. And so, there was a car club in the parking lot, and I go, watch this. And she's like, don't do it. I was like, hell yes, we're going to do it, bro. I grabbed that, I got the volume knob for that KS amplifier because I didn't mount it anywhere, and it's Bluetooth. So I'm literally like holding my hand thinking, this is the coolest thing in the world. I'm like, crank it to 11. Here we go. And just
I live my life 150 dB at a time.
Oh, dude, man. Every one of those little tweakers' heads just went, they're all like this. And I went, what is that? And I was like, I'm just sitting back in the seat. And I don't even have my hand on the steering wheel. I'm just sitting there like this. And Haley's gonna, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I really wasn't. But I mean, that's just how I felt, just pimping back, which I would never.
Beside it while it's going.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would never pimp back because, I don't understand the whole reclining seat thing. I like it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, but that's what was going through my head. That was the fun thing.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking when you were talking with Haley on the show, the live stream show yesterday, about having the box in there. And I was like, we were told a lie that girls like systems back in the day. So we got it. But the truth is guys do like systems. So girls with this system can definitely get guys just by having the system.
All right. So you want my story?
Yeah. Let's hear it. That's what we're here for.
Okay. So years ago, back in high school, a friend of mine was dating this girl. And he said, hey, man, I'm going to go over to her house and play pool. She's bringing a friend. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Whatever. She's like, so, it was one of those things. I really didn't give a shit. So I went over there. I've been working my whole life way too much. So to stop and smell the roses is not anything I've ever done. Even in high school, it was like high school, work, sleep a little bit, because I had stereo to pay for. So it was like, So we go over there, we're playing pool, and the girl's like, she heard us coming because we're, high school. So it's like we're a block away. Just, all right, press play now on the cassette,
That way they know we're here.
DWire, just popping on the cassette player, or whatever. And so you roll up to the house, you got to be the douche and like, oh, we turn it down now that we're here. Oh, parents aren't home. I don't care, bro. And so we go and we're playing pool in her house, and she's like, oh, so you're one of those guys that has one of those stereos in your car. Oh, that's so obnoxious. I don't want anyone to do that. That's so terrible. And I'm like, bitch, this is all I live for, man. Stereo over bitches every day. I don't really care about you. It's like, yeah, you're nice and, all that thing, but no, this brings me way more joy, and I don't have to hear it talk back to me. So, anyways, so she ends up going, well, you want to go out one night? And I was like, yeah, sure. So, dude, we go out and we go get some food. And then she's like, let's just go drive around. I was like, okay. Literally, the whole time we're driving around is just going through my cassettes. Oh, I love this song. Play this one. Oh, turn it up. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, play this song. I'm sitting there going, bitch, you just got done telling me how stupid I was for having car stereo in my car, and you're like jukeboxing the hell out of this thing. What the frick is going on, man? And so it kind of pissed me off. I was young and stupid. I didn't really take advantage of the situation that was being put in front of me. It's like all of a sudden I'm the Captain Cool guy. No, I took it the wrong way. I was like, man, what the man? Get out of my car, woman! I don't want you in here, you poser. Oh, so I took her home, and that was the end of that. But missed opportunity, thank God. But I mean, don't dwell on the past. But it was just so funny because I was like, she's sitting here telling me how she hates stereos, and then she just could not stop playing every damn cassette I had. I was like, ugh.
Dude, I've got a boyfriend story for my daughter. Her boyfriend has a car. He finds out, she's like, yeah, my dad does stereos. He's like, oh, you think you could help me? I was like, yeah, man. He's like, well, what should I buy? I was like, no. I was like, I've got a ton of stuff here. We'll just throw something in. So now when I hear that car coming up bumping, it's my fault.
Yes.
I did that to myself.
Yeah. Oh, even better. So like when I first started dating Sue, her dad, he was into woodworking. So he had all his tools in his garage. And I was getting ready to redo my Renault. And I was like, hey man, I got to build a subwoofer enclosure. You got a table saw. Do you think it's all right if he's like, yeah, go right ahead. So literally every day I was in their garage using all his tools, man. It's like I broke a drill bit. I felt so bad. I had to, obviously go buy him a new. I was like, dude, I broke your drill bit. I'm sorry. I went to the store and bought you a new one. But oh man, it was the weirdest thing ever because he was just, secretly he was hoping that I would fall in love and marry his daughter and get her the hell out of the house. But if using these tools was the catalyst to make it happen, it was like, yeah, use it all, man. Just please take my daughter. Get her out of here.
Get some tools. Damn it. He broke my drill bit and my daughter's heart.
Speaking of tools and drill bits, did you catch up on the DWire Ruler today or yesterday?
No.
Have you
I heard
seen
you
it
talk
yet?
about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, so these are them. These are the DWire rulers. I know, like, oh, hey, conveniently they're located right here. Oh, so these are the products we've been working on. This was the catalyst for the 12-volt wire club. They're the Clean Wire Club. When we came up with that idea, the whole idea was, how do we promote clean wire? And this was one of Fernando's ideas. Was, well, we need to make some form of a tool. And we had to put it on hold for like 6 months because there was somebody else that kind of, we won't even get into that in that debacle. But so we finally, they're available from Mobile Solutions. So you go to Mobile Solutions -usa.com. You can pick them up. $25 for one set, comes with a long one and a short one, or $40 for two, meaning you get 2 long ones and 2 short ones. And the cool thing about them is you can put them together like this. So if you need it longer, you just attach them like this, and now you have a longer one.
Oh man!
But this is, so we cut these. So the first run we cut. So we just got done cutting. I think our laser has been running for 4 days now straight.
Wow.
Like just we have stacks of these things. So everyone needs to buy them is what I'm getting at. We wanted them at, so the whole thing was we wanted them, like, we didn't want to get too complicated because we didn't want people to not buy them. So, it was like years of me doing this and trying to figure out how could I teach someone how to do the clean wire that I do? Because like for me, I've drilled so many holes. I can look down and I can place out 1 1/8 inches repetitively without needing one of these. But most people don't have that. Like they don't, like you don't do amp racks every day of the week.
No.
So you're not going to buy
a little tape measure.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not going to spend $200 to buy these. That would be silly. So they're $25. So for $25, you might go, well, that makes sense.
Stocking stuffer.
Yeah. So, we worked it out. We're not making, I mean, it really, the idea was we just wanted a tool out there. So it's not like it's a moneymaker for us. It's just a matter of like, we wanted something that had our name on it. Fernando came up with the name. So it's the D, there's a D in there. So it's DWire Ruler, which could have multiple meanings depending on how you want to look at it. But I originally called it Dean's Ugly Wire Stick. It's just kind of like I thought it was funny, and everyone just kind of looked at me like, yeah, no, we don't like that. Because I'm like, really? Come on. Like, it's the opposite. No. You don't call it caffeine inflicted pain. You call it Coca-Cola.
Well,
okay.
See, luckily you had those people around, because if you were George Lucas, there's no one around to tell you that.
Yeah, no, these guys were right on top of it. I mean, between Brian at Mobile Solutions and Fernando, they were like, all right, no, just no. Let's redesign. Let's rethink this. There was a couple things I really had to
zip stick.
It's not a bad one, but Fernando, between Fernando and Brian, they kind of like reeled me in. The colors were my idea. Like, so we picked, so the problem is like when you put one of these on your workbench, if it's clear, which is what all our prototypes were, it literally, you lost it. So like when I was doing the testing to figure out how I wanted to lay them out, I would come, where the hell I couldn't find it. So I was like, this isn't going to work. So then we had to figure out what color. And then we tried like black, and they're again, same problem. And then we figured out, no, they can't be opaque. They have to be clear because you have to see underneath them. So we picked these.
Do they do any side tricks that aren't noticeable just right from the beginning? Or is it just a one thing? It does this perfectly.
This is a one-trick pony, bro.
One trick. There you go.
This is the ultimate one-trick pony. I want it there again. We wanted the price to be where everyone and their uncle could afford them. So it was like, this has to be a one-trick pony, because anything outside of that, like everyone's like, you should do a 90. I'm like, you want a 90?
Yeah,
you got a 90. Okay. It's like some guy, a buddy of mine was like, oh, you should make a 90. It should clip into it like this. I'm like, no, you're missing the point. This literally can go up next to an amplifier, and I can drill 10 holes, slide it, drill 10 more holes, slide it, drill 10 more holes, hang it back on the shelf, and I'm done. I don't want it to be something where I'm camped out all day trying to like build. I don't want to do it. It needs to go fast, and
It's like an Apple product. You see it and you're like, oh, this is how it works. Okay.
Yes, and that was it. We didn't want it to be overly complicated. It's like, it's got a 1 1/8 inch hole here and a 3/4 of an inch hole here. So if you want, which that one sucks, it's hard to see. So if you want to do 1.5 inches, you skip a hole here. If you want to do 2 1/4 inches, then you skip a hole here. If you want to be like me and go every 1 1/8, you go here. So it was like, it's super easy. And then we even put on here, we lasered in, like, if you're going to use 4-inch zip ties, you need a 9 64 inch drill bit. If you're going to do 8-inch zip ties, use a 5/32 inch drill bit. So it's like, you use these drill bits. That's it. Don't use anything else. Don't use an 1/8 inch. You have to have these drill bits. These are the drill bits you use. So, spend a couple bucks, and we tell you, like, right here, it's lasered in the size. So it's like 0.75, 1.125. So it was like, we thought these out. I mean, we've had 6 months of development on these to make sure that it was like, makes sense. It wasn't like we just came up with this over the weekend. It was like, no, we've literally been thinking about this for months and months and months and months and months. And, and then once we got Mobile Solutions involved, it really kind of like snowballed fast.
Yeah.
It was like, then we figured out how far behind on it we really were. Yeah. And it was like,
well, they were like, hey guys, we actually make this stuff. So let's actually do it now.
Yeah, they're like, when can you have them for me? And I'm like, shit. Let me order the Plexi. Give me a couple days. I mean, it's like the laser cuts out 8 at a time, and it takes 46 minutes to cut out 8 of them at a time. So it's like, dude, literally, this laser has been running nonstop for, those 3 days, the 2 days I was there for 12 hours. It ran nonstop for 12 hours, just in the background, the white noise of the laser just going, and you got to the point where you go, oh, it's almost done, just because you could hear, it getting to that tone. It's like when it starts cutting all these little circles, it makes a certain sound. You're like, okay, It's cutting circles now. And then it's like, okay. And then it gets quiet and you're like, it's cutting the lines. So it was cutting these lines. And you're like, okay, now I know what's going on. And when it cuts these little dashes, you hear that and you're just like, oh man, we're not even into this. We're not even into this yet. Oh my God, we still got another 30 minutes of this shit.
Let me change it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then it's like figuring that out too. It's like as soon as it ends, you immediately have to go over there and take it out while it's hot. If you wait like 5 minutes trying to get these little holes out is ridiculous. Oh, the other thing too, if any of you guys buy these, okay, because you get the long one, you get the short one, and they are going to be covered in paper for obviously to keep them from getting scratched and broke and all that other fun stuff. How you get the paper off, most people don't know this, is you use the opposite one. So if you're trying to get the paper off of this one, take this one with the paper still on it, and you use this to scratch it off. Acrylic is the best thing to get paper off of acrylic. It won't scratch the acrylic. Acrylic doesn't scratch itself. So you just take this and you just do this and you get all the paper off of this one, and then you take this one and get all the paper off of that one, and it comes off perfectly. Everyone's going to sit there and try to use like X-Acto knife and shit, and you'll scratch the hell out of it. No, you just so we're going to make a video showing you how to get the paper off of your DWire ruler.
So that's the brass hammer trick.
Yes.
Got to have a softer material.
You got to have a softer material. Yep. And it was one of the, I was doing the same thing. I remember like with a razor knife, and somebody's like, just use acrylic, because like, when we cut out, so we have a box that's just filled with circles from all the tweeters. I don't know why I'm keeping them. One day I'll be like, oh, we'll use them to do something. So we'll just keep them in a box.
Just
that's what we need. More shit.
On Fernando one day when he's doing something, just doop.
Yeah. That hurt. It's making it rain with quarters.
It's
so.
Oh man. All right, man. We're at our hour.
Thanks, guys, for spending your Friday evening with us in our nonsense. We know you didn't learn anything, but we hope you had a good time and you enjoyed whatever it is we're doing here. We're 11 episodes into this, as you said, so that's quite a commitment at this point. So we hope you guys are really having fun and enjoying this. I am for sure. This is one of the high points of my week. So thanks for
and nonsense blended.
What more could you ask for? If you laughed, if you had a good time, and that's really, the whole thing about car audio is about community. In my mind, it's all about community, and I feel we have a really good community. So thank you guys. We hope you all had a happy holiday. We hope yesterday was great. As Haley said, why? Because it's Christmas, bro. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
That's the shirts we just made, by the way, for The Boring Life. Because it's Christmas. Oh my god, dude! I had to get that done.
I seen the new one that she had on. That was cool.
Yes. Yeah. The like the New York Paris one that's toe shoes. Yeah. The best one we had, the Supreme logo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we made one that's just as boring.
Boring.
And it was funny too, because the first one we made just says chill. And I was like, why didn't we just make it, I'm running and my brain is going on overload. Like, why don't we just make it say boring? So I went home right away and I was like, what do you think of this one? She's like, oh, that's freaking awesome. I can't believe I didn't think of that. And I was like, I know, right? So she's got that one too. So, but if you do want any of those shirts that we're talking about, of course, Teespring/store/5-star. I'm sorry, Boring Life. Anyways, just Boring Life, Dean and Haley. If you go to any one of the Boring Life of Dean and Haley YouTube shows, there's a link to the Teespring, I think.
Click it, get the cool shirts, and you can be in a small club of people that are in and know what the Boring Life's about.
Oh, dude, she was so excited yesterday because I think she said we got like 15 new subscribers on that channel. We got like 15 new subscribers because of pimping it on the live show yesterday. For those of you guys who didn't catch the Thanksgiving show yesterday, tisk tisk. Oh, it was fun from the beach.
I watched. I almost got the whole thing while I was eating the turkey and stuff. I watched it after it was live.
Yeah, because it would have been real early for you, man. I wouldn't have got up for that shit. Trust me, I didn't get up for us.
I was cooking the turkey, so my wife had to clean the house, so I had to step in like, okay, I have to do this now while she cleans the house where everyone gets here.
Jesus. All right, guys, listen, we're not going to drag you on. Next week, we'll be back on Thursdays. Same bat channel.
Same bat time.
Right here.